Wow. What a finale. I am speechless. Figuratively, I actually have quite a lot to say, thankfully, since this is a review and I will need to be speaking the entire time. I'm not sure how long it's been since I've watched the show that has had essentially one main thing, one mystery, one giant big mystery box that I've just needed it to answer. Like, there has been a lot of different things going on throughout the whole season that has made it very engaging and interesting and thought-provoking. There's like so much going on, but the main thing that has been kept me like super engrossed and just like on the edge of my seat every episode, where it's just like, reveal what is actually going on outside. Like, there are so many different ideas and thoughts of what it could be, and now we get finally to the finale. And oh my god, for the entire runtime, as soon as she gets captured, which happens like 5-10 minutes in, I'm just sitting there just being like, show me outside, show me outside. And then we finally see outside. And I am speechless. Figuratively. Hey guys, I'm Jax and this is my spoiler review for the Silo Season 1 finale. If you're new to the channel, feel free to give me a subscribe, like, comment, all the YouTubey things. I would love to know what everyone thought about this finale. Was this giant cliffhanger reveal what you expected? Is it different to what you expected? Are you keen for the future? Are you a little sad in how it was revealed? Because on one hand, I can kind of see like some viewers being kind of shocked and a little disappointed that it in fact is an apocalypse. Maybe you are hoping to see some kind of future sci-fi world. I, for one, kind of was like hoping it might be like a Truman Show situation, or it's aliens. Hopefully elephant-sized aliens. And whilst the second one is very unlikely, it's still possible because there could be aliens that destroyed the world, maybe. But it does appear to not be the Truman Show, which is probably the only aspect of this episode that made me disappointed. Before I keep going on about the cliffhanger, because I feel like that's what I really want to talk about, generally the episode, amazing. A really interesting atmosphere and tone throughout the whole episode. Obviously, like, the tension's building just because we're waiting for her to go outside for that reveal and kind of, you know, that confirmation of what it is or some kind of little new hint. But generally the episode and the mood was really good. I liked the tone of the whole episode. The scene with Jorah, her dad, was really good. I really liked that, really emotional. I loved the scene of that old hermit lady and she's like walking through the silo for the first time in 25 years. Really powerful stuff. Loved that. The one scene in the episode that I thought was like a little comical and it was intending to be quite serious and intense for the scene, but it came across really odd and just funny to me, was when Bernard is like, nobody look at the screens, no one look at the screens, everyone turn around and close your eyes. And it really just gave me the vibes of like a teacher telling a bunch of 3-year-olds to like sit in the corner because they're being like loud and annoying in class. Like, it just had a really weird vibe, like they all turn around and close their eyes, and it looked silly and kind of comical, and they all just looked like children listening to it like an adult. So I don't know, it didn't give me the vibe that I think it was meant to, but apart from that, I thought this episode was amazing. Oh, and the reveal that George actually killed himself and that he wasn't killed and he did it so that he wouldn't give any information because they were going to torture him. Genuinely shocking. Like, as that scene played out, I'm like, what's going to happen? Like, they're going to show him being murdered? Oh my god, he killed himself. Like, after all of this time, he did kill himself. I don't know. I thought that was a really effective twist. And I don't know. That just really surprised me. It was quite an amazing moment as well of just having Rebecca Ferguson's character walking in and seeing all the computers. That look of defeat on her face when she's like, oh, we never stood a chance. And he's just like, yeah, nah. And it was like really heartbreaking. The whole episode was really good. I really liked the feeling of this episode. Alright, so back to that ending, because what the hell? I was so shocked and kind of horrified to find the whole world was actually destroyed. And like the way she's like, the screens, that's all a lie. And that moment when she realizes the displays are a lie doesn't mean the display on the silo view is a lie, but the displays in the headsets of the suits are the lie. And it was one of the theories I had, and I'm sure most people had, that I've been hearing, that there's something in the suits that kind of shows the projection of this fake world, this CGI green world of fairy tale and wonder. And I love the fact that, and I have to presume this is what she saw, because it was when I realized this, when she sees it outside, we get that same flock of birds, and they're in the same formation and everything, and it feels like a loop. And I was suddenly like, oh, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the birds. And so she realizes, hey, my actual display is a lie. I was kind of shocked as well she didn't take the helmet off. I guess she's still afraid she won't be able to breathe the outside air. And this whole scene had such a great use of tension and anticipation. We kept cutting to like her view in the monitor, and you could see the way it was shot, that we weren't seeing the real, what we're meant to be seeing, and everyone's seeing the view from inside, and the way it just kept holding off on a wide shot of her. I'm just sitting there being like, show me! Like it was building in such an exciting way where I was just like, I literally cannot wait to see what is actually going on. And the realization where she's touching the hologram of the bodies, what's going on there? So she like falls over, and at first you think like people are getting poisoned through the suits of some sort. Like it actually is, they're actually executing them out there. But that doesn't appear to be the case, because she touches the bodies and they're not actually there. Which leads me to my first question. What does Bernard think happens when he sends people out to clean? If they're not getting poisoned and dying, what do they think happens? Do they just leave them out there and they'll wander around and they'll starve? Did everybody else have that same realization that it's a hologram and that it's not actually there, and that it is in fact... Like, did their screens malfunction as well? I don't know. It's really confusing to me, because the way Bernard reacts, he's like, oh my gosh, she's realized it's like a hologram. She's going to keep going out. But he didn't have that reaction with everyone else, unless I'm misremembering, or unless we maybe like didn't see his reaction. But I'm confused, because where's everyone else gone? Do they just keep wandering and then they starve? I'm curious where people thinks happened there. It also feels really weird and cruel that the display is of like trees and like nice stuff. I feel like that's not necessary. Like, are they tricking them? For what end? Because won't they all just keep wandering and realize, hey, like they'll touch the tree and they'll notice? Or I don't know. I'm just like kind of confused by like exactly why they would trick everyone, unless the suits are meant to poison them, and something happened with the suits where she wasn't poisoned this time. Something to do with the hermit lady talking about the supply is always good. I don't know. Is there something to do with like the thing she had? Was that meant to block out like the system or like the hologram situation? I'm kind of unclear there. It is really exciting to presume that the characters we saw in episode 1 and 2 didn't die and didn't fall down, obviously because they're holograms. So they've probably wandered off and gone into one of the other silos. And it's kind of cool because I really, really liked, I forgot the actress's name, but she's the chick from Parks and Rec. She was really fantastic. She was kind of what drew me into the show originally. I mean, obviously, she's the main character at the start, but I found her portrayal really intense and emotional, and it was kind of a different side to that actress that I hadn't really seen that often, so I really liked her. It'd be cool to see her come back. And the final reveal of the episode, not only is that it is an apocalypse, everything is destroyed, there's cities in the background, so it is the Earth that we kind of know in some sort, because there looks to be a city of whatever sort, but there is a reveal of lots of craters and lots of little hatch thingies, so lots of silos, which I did kind of presume because of the Silo 18. Well, not Silo 18, but it had the little 18, and the hard drive said 18, so presumably that is Silo 18, so there is at least, I would say, 20 silos. 18 would be a weird place to stop, but the way it kind of panned out didn't imply there was a couple. It kind of was like, is the whole Earth just silos? Is there millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people alive? Really interesting. I'm super curious to see these other silos. I have a feeling, even if it's like not book accurate, that the silos for budget reasons will probably look the same, but like with a different color that they can just kind of tweak on like on the computer. But I would be super interested to see different silos that have different layouts and all this kind of stuff, but I presume probably not. I was really hoping that Bernard, just the way he was talking and the way he's like, this is serious, if anyone gets out or like spreads like false things, they're gonna kill everyone in this silo. And so he's not going to be like a proper, like, you know, stereotypical kind of villain who's just bad, being bad, and that he is right in a way. And it turns out he kind of is. And they all do need to stay in there. They can't go out. It's awful out there. There's nothing out there. So that's really interesting. And like, I don't know, it's It's really interesting, but now we've got to this point. I'm like, okay though, so where do we go from here? I'm kind of fascinated to see where this series is going to take us. I actually kind of feel like for the first time in the show, I don't really know what to expect. Not that the show has been obvious, but I feel like it's always been leading to a character, presumably Rebecca Ferguson, getting out and seeing what's actually up. And now we know what's up. Where do we go from here? Because in my mind, I'm like, the kind of obvious thing would be for her to go, hey, actually, it's pretty cool out here. Gets everyone and gets them to come out, you know, and that would be it. And revolution or whatever. Rebellion. But now it appears that the world is completely screwed and it's destroyed. So I don't know, yeah, I just don't even know where to go from here. It really is a fascinating way to end the season because it has answered one huge big question and then set up so many more questions. I am still a little confused about certain things. The main thing really is what has happened to the other people. Have they just wandered off and then gone into another silo? Will there be some kind of shelter? Will she walk all the way to the city and find out there are, like, you know, survivors there? Kind of curious as to where that's going to go. I'm kind of unclear as to, like, how that works. And, like, kind of why everyone fell over. Were they poisoned? I don't know. Because otherwise, like, Bernard would have been like, oh my god, she's not being poisoned. Whereas he was just like, oh, she noticed it was a hologram. I don't know. So, yeah, that kind of confuses me. So, if anyone has any thoughts, ideas, or kind of feels like they understand what happened there, super curious to hear people's ideas on that. And whilst I love the fact that Bernard isn't going to be, like, a traditional bad guy, and he was right, they need to stay in the silo, it's also really kind of tragic and horrifying and very, I don't know, it's kind of sad. Just like, oh, so the whole world is like destroyed and they just live in these silos and they're probably just going to keep living in these silos? Ugh, what a horrible existence.